Welcome. This is the October 27th meeting of City Council. If we could please all stand while Mr. Zuber leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Rossmarin, please read the roll call.
Mr. Arnold.
Here.
Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Here.
Ms. Gentry.
Here.
Mr. Koss.
Here.
Mr. Shamir.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Zuber.
Here.
Mayor Spetzel.
Here.
Law Director Ebert.
Here.
Finance Director Crossy.
Here.
Public Works Director Liskovic.
Here.
Thank you. Any changes or additions to the council minutes of October the 14th? Seeing none, they will stand as published. Thank you. Mrs. Rossmarin, any correspondence?
I don't have any correspondence to report tonight. Thank
Colleagues, do any of the rest of you have correspondence? Mr. Shamir?
Yes, I have residents on Bayview who are again today without power. So this is an ongoing issue that needs to be addressed by First Energy. I mean, this is at least the second time in the past 5-6 days that they're without power. Thank you.
Mr. Shamir, are they on the same side of the street or on both sides of the street? Do you know?
Seems to be on both sides of the street.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I do have some correspondence. I don't. Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on now to a public hearing. Mr. Smith, could you lead us in the public hearing upon the proposed rezoning of a 2.38 acre parcel?
Thank you, Madam President. If I could
We're going to start the public hearing.
if I could go up to the,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Everybody see that all right? I could zoom in a little bit more, I think. All right, the public hearing tonight is for a transfer or change of zoning for the properties right in this area. It's owned by Mr. Rotz, who's here in the audience tonight, if anybody has any questions. And it's going to be changed in this little area. Currently, it's commercial. Planning Commission approved 7-0 to change this so that they could have 4 residential lots. And if you notice, the site here across from it is all residential. And that would also cause the commercial to end right here in line with the current commercial use here, along with the commercial use of the Drug Mart Plaza. And there's a bar and restaurant here, so you'd avoid those kind of problems there. So if anyone has any questions, I'm glad to answer them. And I don't know if you want to go to the audience first on this, or?
No, there's a process, right?
Okay.
So to go with the process, we're going to read what the public hearing is about. Upon the proposed rezoning of a 2.38 acre parcel located on the west side of Moore Road, which Mr. Smith has just shown us, north of Walker Road, and designated by the county auditor as PPN 04-0006135-071 from a B2 general business district to a R1A single family residence district. And then do you want to talk about the width of the 4 lots that are there?
Yes. Currently, there is going to be a change of 2.38 acres. And the proposal is that they will put in 4 houses, each with at least 100-foot wide frontage on Moore Road, which is what we have in our standard subdivisions. So there's no condos, no townhouses, just 4 straight R1A residential houses on our normal size lots.
And they're going to mimic what's across the street. First we turn to council, then we go out to public input. Council? Any concepts? This is, Mr. Cos, this is in your ward.
Yeah, thank you. Just to note that, like you mentioned, Madam President, this is in my ward. I have not had any calls or emails on this.
Thank you. Anybody else? Then looking to my left. Anybody? Administration, any comments? Okay, at this point, we're going to go out for public input. Do you want to stay there in case there's some questions?
Yeah, I'll stay here.
Okay, we're going to go out to the public. If you have public input on this particular topic only, come up to the podium, please. Do you have any comments? There's 5 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
I
5.
didn't know which one you wanted to give me. William Zimmerman. What is the building that's currently there?
That used to be Hoban, exterminating, huh?
It's my building.
Oh, okay. So
For the
Mr.
record,
Ross
we can
owns
say that Mr. Ross has responded.
Sorry.
It's all right. So this is property you currently own?
Yes,
Okay.
that's my business. I run a little electrical contracting business out of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, are there any other issues like with a creek or anything like that running through this property?
There's a
Mr.
creek-
Ross, if you could come up here, the cameras will see you, but they
They
can't
won't hear
pick
you.
you up. They can't hear you.
Here, you could, why don't you sit over here? You
You
can,
can sit with
All right.
Mr. Smith, okay?
All I'll tell you is what I know. There's a creek behind it, powder maker. Sorry. Powder maker ditch we all see. And then there's also a little ditch that cuts through right here that there is not a city easement on or anything like that. And it cuts at a weird angle. Our plan was to just straighten it. So it went straight between two lots to make everything line up right. And other than that, I've had a wetland study done. I've had everything you can do. I've submitted all that to the city couple of years ago, and there's no problems with anything. So other than that, I don't know what else to say. They're just 400-foot lots. Some of them are 300 feet deep, some of them are 250 or 275, whatever it comes
Have you
out
had
to.
any flooding there ever from Powder Maker Creek?
I've had that building for almost 8 years now, and I've never seen it even get near that top. No.
Thank you.
Yep.
Should we just stay there for a minute?
Okay.
Yeah, the green space that you can see at the top of the screen, that's grass or whatever, there, do you
This
know
up
what
here?
yes, at the very top. Do you know what property that is?
Isn't that the condos up there or something? Doesn't everything?
Mr.
do with
Zuber,
me?
what was that?
The apartments.
There's a
Village on the Green?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was just curious, I'm trying to get a reference point to see
Yeah.
how far it goes north. That's all I have, thank you.
Anybody else want to come forward on this topic? Anybody? Okay, one last time. Mr. Ross, thank you for coming forward.
Thank you guys.
Mr.
Appreciate it.
Smith, I'm going to turn this back over to you since you opened the public hearing. Final words, sir, before we close the public hearing?
yes, we have the second reading of this tonight, so we'll have the third reading at our next regular meeting. And then I'm not gonna do it as an emergency, so everybody can get their words in if they need to. So thank you.
Very good. Then at this point, we're going to close the public hearing. And now we're going to reopen this, the council meeting. And we're at that time when we have public input. And you can come up to the podium on any topic for 5 minutes. Just give us your name and the city that you're from. Anybody want to come up? Come on up. On a topic?
Neil Rush, Avon Lake. Madam President, city officials, and the citizens of Avon Lake, I'm in support of ordinance 25-167, the proposal acquisition of approximately 23 acres of public lakefront property in Avon Lake. The purchase is approximately 23 acres It's considered a long-term investment like other city assets like parks, libraries, and community centers, with anticipated benefits to residents across generations. Lakefront property is limited, and its value may change over time. Acquiring this land would provide public access to the lake for all residents. The site could be used for recreational cultural activities, including art events, festivals, farm markets, for the community. Studies suggest that proximity to lakes may be linked to possible mental health benefits, such as reduced stress. The natural setting might also support mindfulness and time spent outdoors. Publicly accessed lakefront areas offer space for swimming, fishing, walking, running, which can promote physical activity. A lakefront park could serve as a location for community events, supporting local interaction within neighborhoods. The area has the potential to draw visitors. Redevelopment of the lake may contribute to the establishment of business such as restaurants and outdoor recreation shops, potentially generating tax revenue and creating local jobs. Small businesses can identify opportunities to provide products and services tailored to this market. Access to natural resources may encourage sustainability initiatives among residents focused on environmental preservation. Public access to the lake is my #1 initiative as the candidate for council at large. I remind all residents that voting is this November 4th and to vote for Neil Rush, working hard to keep Avon Lake the best community to live.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Matthew Reynolds. I come from the finest city in the greatest state, Avon Lake, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 week from today, we come together to exercise our right to vote in an important election. This year, I am proud to say we have 6 highly qualified candidates competing for 3 at-large seats on the City Council. In a time when choices can often feel limited, this election offers us the opportunity to choose from 6 dedicated individuals who are passionate about representing our community. Among these candidates is our incumbent, Jeff Smith, who brings vast experience and a proven commitment to our city after stepping in to fill a previous vacancy. As we bid farewell to Mr. Arnold and Mr. Zuber, 2 exceptional leaders whose contributions to the city will be greatly missed, we recognize the large shoes they leave behind to fill. My name is Matthew Reynolds. I stand before you as one of 6 candidates seeking a seat on City Council. I was born and raised in Avon Lake, a place I often say helped shape who I am today. After my service in the U.S. Navy, I returned home, knowing there was no better place to raise my family than here. During a previous meeting, it was suggested during public comment that we candidates explain our qualifications for this position. While I could point out my degrees in business and public administration or my near decade-long military career, I believe my true qualification comes from my journey as a father of 3. Like many of you, I wake up each day, work hard, ensuring my family's needs are met, balancing bills, providing education, and stretching our resources is a reality I understand intimately, especially with 2 daughters now involved in club volleyball. As a father, I recognize that our decisions today will shape the futures of our children as they transition into adulthood. Like my fellow young family candidate, Kayla Goodman, I share a vision of Avon Lake as a welcoming and affordable community, a place where our children can thrive and choose to return home. We cannot afford to be short-sighted. Finding balance is essential to effective local government. 2 key issues in the agenda illustrate this perfectly. First, the proposed short-term rental ordinance reflects the hard work of an ad hoc committee striving to balance property rights, public safety, and the integrity of our neighborhoods. Second, the redevelopment of the power plant land is one of the most significant projects of our time. We must ensure that it serves as a community center promoting sustainable development without jeopardizing funding for our services and schools. I remain open to the possibilities of using tools like TIF agreements, as they can be valuable when implemented with balance and long-term vision. This agreement has the potential to impact our city for the next 30 years. It is our duty to approach it with diligence and foresight to protect the interests of future generations. Because of the enormity of this project and its impact, public input is vital, public input is necessary. In closing, I want to express my gratitude to the council and mayor for this opportunity to speak to you tonight. A special thank you to Mr. Zuber and Mr. Arnold for their years of dedicated service, and to the people of Avon Lake, I urge you to get out and vote. Together, let us shape the future of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else like to come forward and speak on any topic?
Hello, my name is Kayla Goodwin. I live here in Avon Lake, and I am one of the candidates for City Council at large. And I apologize, this is going to get a little crazy because my printer broke, so I have to read from my phone. But good evening. I have been proud to call Avon Lake my home since 1998. I grew up here, attended St. Joseph School, married my husband, Craig, a Marine veteran, from a lifelong Avon Lake family. Together, we're raising our 3 children in the same neighborhoods that we grew up in. Unfortunately, I can call Matt my neighbor. He's a wonderful father, and his wife is a role model mom to me, and it would be an honor to serve up here next to him. I've worked in project management. I spent 5 years as the marketing communications director at St. Joseph Church, right down the road. And in that time, I learned firsthand how collaboration and leadership can strengthen a community. I currently serve on the Avon Lake Environmental Affairs Advisory Board as a member of the Avon Lake Kiwanis and help organize events such as the Fall Fest that bring families and local community members together. Those experiences shaped how I see our city, one rooted in connection, tradition, and opportunity. I'm running for City Council at large to help guide Avon Lake's next chapter, one focused on safe and sustainable foundations, a thriving local economy, and a stronger community collaboration. We need to invest in infrastructure that supports growth while keeping our neighborhoods safe and reliable. I'll advocate for proactive, transparent planning that ensures residents understand and trust where resources are going. Our small business and lakefront are the heartbeat of Avon Lake. Protecting and promoting the lakefront supports both our economy and our environment. By fostering partnerships between businesses, schools, and organizations, we can create opportunity, attract investment, and keep Avon Lake competitive. Our greatest strength is our people. I'll continue building stronger connections between city government, schools, and community organizations so we can work together towards shared goals, keeping Avon Lake vibrant, forward-thinking, and proud. I want to thank current City Council and Mayor Spetzel for their ongoing work to modernize and strengthen our city. I hope to build on that momentum, bringing fresh ideas, collaboration, and creative problem solving to the table. Together, we can keep Avon Lake safe, thriving, and full of pride. The hometown we're all proud to call family. And I just want to mention one thing, that it's been an honor to run this race alongside so many qualified and passionate members of the community. I've had a lot of fun, no matter the outcome next week. It's been a great journey, and I'm really excited that I did it. Also, one thing I would really encourage everyone who's watching, if they have questions about these candidates, I know I am pretty out there on the internet, social media, and things like that, and I am totally open to being contacted and asked further questions about why I see myself being a good fit for this seat. So thank you all so much for your time, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Anybody else want to come forward to speak on any topic?
Good evening, I'm David Glow, obviously a 22 resident of Avon Lake, and I'm running for City Council. And we have a fine group of 6 people running for council for 3 positions. A little background about myself: I'm an Air Force veteran, I'm an air traffic controller. I moved into the private sector and I became a Six Sigma Master Black Belt. Basically what that is a certification in statistical analysis, providing process improvements and cost savings. In the private sector, using my Six Sigma skills, I worked with other black belts across Ohio and Pennsylvania improving processes, resource, and operations, resulting in $6.5 million in savings per year. I'm a strong proponent of strong economic development for Avon Lake, still keeping it as a single family residential area and plenty of green space. If I'm elected, I promise to utilize my skills to maximize the tax dollars of our residents and ensure Avon Lake remains the world-class city it has become. I look forward to your vote November 4th. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Anybody else want to come forward on any topic?
See, it's candidates night. I used to be a candidate. Gerald Phillips, Avon Lake, 20-year resident, certified public accountant, real estate attorney, and concerned citizen. You know, I've been talking about the power plant, and I talk about deal number 1 and 2. I'm just going to talk about the TIF and rezoning, because that's the 2 options. With the TIF, the city buys the property for $15 million and has $15 million for the improvements. Now, everybody says that's great because the city is getting the property free because it's coming out of the TIF. But we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. All the residents should understand we're taking $30 million away from our schools and our kids, and we're giving it to a private developer, okay? That's what it boils down to. It's corporate welfare, corporate subsidy, okay? Rezoning. Mr. Shamir brought it up. I totally agree with this proposal. You got overlaid zoning, 1219. Rezone that property to that. Developer has to provide this green space. Doesn't cost the city a penny. The school district doesn't lose $30 million. Mr. Shamir, in his handout, which Mr. Glow gave me a copy, we're paying $1.29 million for 30 acres. That's outrageous. So I'm not against TIF, but I haven't seen ALERG provide anything that says they need the TIF in order for this development to go ahead. Because if they did, they wouldn't have bought the property. They already bought the property. You don't buy property if it's not feasible. So the mere fact that they bought it tells you it's economically feasible without the TIF. They don't do it to lose money. They don't. So the agreement, I don't see an executed copy of the LOI or the IDA. I would like to get copies of those. And there's a very disturbing provision under section 401A4, okay? The purchaser shall endeavor to create one or more ordinances pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, the TIF ordinance, during the due diligence period to facilitate the purchaser's TIF. Sounds like we're obligating ourselves to make that condition and to actually pass an ordinance. We're giving up our zoning problems. We're giving up our ability to make decisions. That looks like a quid pro quo to me. Also, I asked for, and I haven't gotten it, I want a copy of the feasibility materials, okay? Am I correct, Mr. Ebert? You're not going to provide that?
I will respond accordingly.
Well, I think you already did. So, you know, there's a lot of other people who appreciate Mr. Zimmerman and I. I get envelopes in my mailbox, at my house with information, okay? Giving me a lot of information about things that aren't going right in this city. You know, 20 years I've lived in there. We can talk about the regionalization of the water department, where we're giving it away. We're giving it away. 14 million that Lorco owes us for the sewer funds, and 4 million for the water, Mr. Zuber, okay? So that's $18 million. $18 million. We could buy the parkland if we got that money. But we don't have it. We don't have it. Those are the two most important issues that are coming before council. The water regionalization and the power plant. And the whole future depends upon it. But it seems like we got tunnel vision, okay? We got tunnel vision because we got one proposal that's been jammed down our throats by ALERG, the bully. Okay, what should have been done, proactive, we should have rezoned that property with an overlay before anybody bought it. Unfortunately, the city screwed up. And it's not the first time the city screwed up. You know?
Thank you. Is there anybody else on any topic? Come forward.
Good evening, William Zimmerman. So let's talk about Vermillion and the 6119 that they want us to be a part of, which thankfully Mr. Shamir and Mr. Phillips and myself have tried to derail because we don't believe it should ever be enacted. So they now are asking for $25 to $40 million to build a new pipeline in Vermillion to connect to be part of the 6119. And yet they still have a dilapidated facility. They can't move sewers without pump station. They're having difficulties trying to figure it all out because their engineers are going back and forth and don't know what they're doing, my opinion. The real problem is now they say that it might cost over $100,000 for them in Vermillion to join the 6119.
100 million.
There's an echo. So anyhow, I don't think that that's a feasible plan either. And so we should never consider giving away what we already have here in Avon Lake, especially when we have supposedly one of our friendly neighbors owing us $18 million. Let's get that money. So I saw a study that was done, top 20 suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio. Rocky River was number 2. Bay was number 3. Westlake and Avon down the list. And nowhere in the top 20 was the city of Avon Lake. Wonder why that is. We used to always be in there. Now we're not. So my next statement has to do with the parkland that everybody wants to buy. Well, I'm sorry, not everyone. The people here at the panel want us to buy. I believe that's an error and a mistake. We already have 15% of our land in our city limits used as park space. Why do we need more? The average is 9.8. We're well above that. As I indicated at a previous meeting, I've gone to that Miller Road Park and spoken with the employee who works there, and he tells me that it's an underutilized facility. Why would we want to add to that? What could we possibly put there that would draw more people to it? It's grass, a gazebo, the shoreline, and a pier for fishing. You got a boat launch on the other side. I don't understand why we still want to go down that road. So my next question has to do with Chief Betza, who's still on administrative leave, hasn't had his time to come before the Civil Service Commission yet, and yet he's still being paid. 2.5 months worth of pay. Now I'm guessing, I spoke to Beth about it, I'm guessing $25,000 to $30,000 that we've just given away to Mr. Betza while we wait this whole scenario out. I've learned about some other factors in it, which I'm not prepared to disclose at this time. But our city's very corrupt. I'd like to thank all the candidates who came out. I don't know if I called them out last week when I said, tell me why you're qualified, but I'm glad they've shown up, because at least they're now, the citizens are getting to recognize a face that goes with a name, and they'll have opportunity to do what they're supposed to do and elect the most qualified. Not the best fit, but the most qualified. In closing, Todd Davis says, no TIF, no deal. Sounds like an ultimatum to me. Sounds like a very poor negotiator, not looking out for the best interest of the city of Avon Lake, as he's claimed to be. He's not. In my opinion, he's nothing more than a crook. Please vote. Stop electing idiots.
Anybody else want to come forward on any topic? Almost everybody in the room here. No? Okay, with that, we're going, yes? No? Okay, with that, we're going to move forward now with our reports. Mr. Mayor, with your reports, or?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to let everybody know as a reminder, this Friday, October 31st is Trick or Treat from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Hope you can all get out there and hope the weather cooperates for us. One other thing I wanted to mention was I had an opportunity to work at CRS on Thursday, stocking the pantry from the Super Bowl food that was donated during the Avon Lake football game. And a lot of food was donated, which is great to see. However, CRS is anticipating that in the next couple months, there might be an increased need for services for those that need that safety net. And they're encouraging everybody who would normally donate to maybe consider donating a little bit earlier this year. And it would help them to make sure that they have the necessary food and financial support to continue on through the next couple months. So I just want to let everybody know about that. That's all I have for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Mayor? From consuls, seeing none, we're going to have a consul president's report. A couple of different things. First, I want to talk about the email that you've all received. It has existing committees and it has proposed committees. And this is following your survey responses to me regarding the time commitment associated with each committee, as well as discussions about current committee responsibilities. I reached out to other consuls to learn how they structure and distribute their committee work. And based on your input and this comparative study, I've attached, which you all have, a draft of proposed revisions to consul committee tasks. You'll note that several of the responsibilities have been realigned among committees, and a new commission has been proposed. These are recommendations for your consideration. Final decisions will rest with all of you, the current consul, whose collective experience continues to advance the business of Avon Lake. I view the Economic Development Committee as an attraction tool for the city. Therefore, the proposed additions to this particular committee are designed to strengthen its attraction and growth functions. Next week, Wednesday, November 5th, we've set aside a meeting at 5 p.m. I hope you can attend it for just an hour. It's prior to the Public Service Committee to discuss this and work it out. If you have any comments about what you received today in an email and also as a printed format, please respond back to Mrs. Rossmarin, so that we can you can keep track of them, and they will be discussed then at this meeting. Our goal is to finalize and adopt the updated committee structure by December 15th. And I want to thank each of you for your thoughtful review and your continued dedication to our community. I also wanted to let you know where we are with the Boards and Commissions Handbook. It's being reviewed again tomorrow, and after that meeting, it will be ready to be finished being typed and produced so that all the members of all the boards and commissions can have a copy of the handbook. I wanted to remind everyone in the community that we have budget meetings coming up in November, 2 of them. Saturdays, we dedicate 4 hours from 8 until noon, November 8th and November 15th. So mark your calendar. It's in these chambers. Then I also wanted to talk to our council members. When we go through each of your committees, remember that if you have a suspension of the rule item, please give a reason for why it is being suspended from the 3 readings. And if there's an emergency passage, when you're at that point in your agenda, please explain why it is an emergency, because the public has misunderstood what emergency is. It's not a weather emergency. All it means is that if there's no emergency, then after this council would pass it and I and the mayor sign it, 30 days later it will go into effect. If it's an emergency, then that means that it would go into effect immediately after the mayor and my signage of it. So I wanted to go over that motion. And then I wanted to look at one more thing here. Yes, in your packet, underneath 25171, it shows that Mr. Zuber is going to be sponsoring it, but then in the packet, my name is there. My name should be removed. It's Mr. Zuber's, and it should be taken care of. So are there any questions for Council President on any of these items? Seeing none, then we're going to move forward. Thank you. Mr. Law Director, do you have an update on any topics?
I have no report this evening, Madam President.
Okay. Finance Director, do you have a report?
I have no report. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Public Works Director, Mr. Liskovic.
Yeah, good evening. I have just a couple updates this evening. I'm going to lead off with Walker Road Phase 5 construction project. So tomorrow, the contractor will be milling the intersection at Walker and Moore. That'll be keeping the intersection open to traffic, but being managed with flaggers and such. So I would advise just to avoid the intersection if you can tomorrow, just due to congestion, stuff like that. Otherwise, the contractor is moving very diligently with the project as we're working towards to get towards putting down that final surface course of asphalt before construction season is over. Next update would be on the Alps project. Contractor is progressing very well with the project. They're working on the poured-in-place surfacing material for the tot feature area. They were able to get seeding done for the lawn areas. They've installed the fiber playground mulch underneath all the other structures. I would like to report, though, that during a site meeting Friday with the project team, which included members of the city staff, the design team, and the contractor, investigation into the existing and remaining towers from the old Alps had determined them to be structurally compromised. And we're working with the design firm to determine the next steps with those towers. But I think the short-term look is that they will not, unfortunately, be able to usher this new playground into the future. And I know that's unfortunate for a lot of residents who partook in the original construction of the project, but in light of safety for the next generation that's coming to use it, this is what we're looking at moving forward. And then lastly, just wanted to touch base real quick on fall leaf collection. Crews are out and about. We are updating the website. The goal is obviously to, after each day of work, to update it. But we're also wrapping up some roadway repairs. We've got a couple crews still out doing that. And we're also still managing through some brush collection too. So we've got a lot that we're juggling, but we are working through, and we'll continue to collect leaves through the month of December.
Thank you. I do have a question I'm going to be asking Mr. Shamir and Mr. Mayor, and it has to do with a resident that made a comment to me. They wanted to know if there was a way online to anonymously make a comment about something that they have observed. And I didn't know if there was a way to anonymously do it. Because I know that you have to usually put your name in.
I had the same question raised to me, and I went online. There is no way that you can actually submit without putting your name in. If I've missed something, I think, Mr. Mayor.
That's probably true. Anybody can make an anonymous comment to us. They can call my office directly if they wish to do so. They don't have to leave their name. But obviously, we're open to any comments from anybody.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shamir.
I know that I've had a couple of residents discussing issues specifically with respect to feeding wildlife that I have just brought up just as a generality in the meeting, and I know that the city has taken steps to put out the information with respect to the ordinances relating to feeding wildlife. Thank you.
And to build on that, if I could, sir, it's really not good for the wildlife. It's many studies have shown that they become dependent upon that versus their natural cycle of browsing. And sometimes you have animals and perhaps birds, what have you, that stay around longer than they should instead of migrating. Right. Any further discussion on this topic, Mr. Kaz?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So I read the mayor's email from last Friday and Mr. Liskovic's comments, listened to them with a bit of sadness and disappointment with regards to the ALP structures that are there. I know a number of us around the room here that were here about 4 or 5 years ago when this project began. One of the things that we wanted to do was to keep those 2 towers, the castle towers, as my son called them when he was little. It was the castle part. And we wanted to keep that part there as a way of transitioning from the original Alps to the new Alps in a way to still have that piece that the longtime residents, the old timers, when they built that with their hands 30 years ago already, 35 years ago. So I was disappointed to hear that the structure is failing. And safety is always paramount, and I understand that. Doesn't make it any less disappointing, though. So I mentioned this to Mr. Liskovic prior to the meeting tonight, and I hope that city, through whichever committee it would be, whether it's Mr. Shamir's committee or Mrs. Fenderbosch, your committee, can look to find a way to either have some sort of a plaque or signage or something that memorializes what those residents did and tell the story about the original Alps. We're not going to have a physical structure there to point to, but I would like, and I'm sure they're all grandparents or even great-grandparents, the ones that built that 35 years ago at this point, but I want them to come back and point to something and say, I did this, and have that be kind of the gateway between the old Alps and the new Alps. So I'm hoping that in lieu of the structures, we can have something like that that memorializes their efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kos. Mr. Shamir, Mr. Kos was not at the previous meeting. Do you want to share the discussion about what Mr. Fatch said? And there's some discovery that's going on and some discussions with our consultants, with Mr. Mayor, as to exactly doing what David is saying, looking into a way to honor the past as we move forward?
Just basically to summarize, the concept was that they are discussing with the consultants on how this piece of history at Alps can be preserved. So that is something I know that the mayor and Director Fausch have actually discussed with the consultants. And if I may turn it to the mayor, I think you probably have a lot more.
Mr. Mayor.
Thanks. Yeah, I agree with Councilman Kaz. It's really disappointing. However, a little bit of detail, as we were out there on Friday actually digging, this has been wood in dirt for 30-plus years, and you can imagine that doesn't work out well. The concrete base that was underneath that was crumbling. One of the workers, as they were attempting to retrofit it to the plan, was actually on the structure and was swaying back and forth. He had to remove himself from that structure. So it's not in good shape and not safe. However, we also recognize how important it is to honor that past and trying to find a way that is fitting to those who built that structure and who enjoyed it for so many years. So we're open to all ideas, obviously, but we'll be working with our consultant, Catherine from Kimley Horn, on that process. So any ideas, please forward, and we'd be happy to entertain them.
Thank you. Mr. Collins?
Yeah, one more question on this. Has there been a date determined or approximate date on when those will come down? I want to make sure that the public is aware, or at least that it's put out there that this is going to happen outside of this meeting, maybe a post on the website or something. So that way, when it's gone, I know there'll be people that will say, well, I wish I would have known I can take that last picture or whatever
Sure.
it is. Has there been a date that's been determined?
No date has been set yet. We have to talk with Kimley Horn about that, but we can certainly publicize that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Zuber?
Yeah, I had brought up at the prior meeting, because I was involved in building ALPS. I was on city council at that time in 1993, I believe. And there has to be some type of pictures and things like that I think you could probably build some type of, I don't know if you would want to call it a memorial, but something to be able to put up there that would show, you know, the original ALPS as far as what it looked like. And I mean, we can save a piece of wood or something like that, I think, but there should probably try to incorporate some type of display about the original ALPS, because that was a community build. There were, I think, hundreds of people there that were helping build it in '93.
Right, and I was, my job was to separate screws from nails. They want to keep me so I wouldn't hurt anything, I guess. But I remember it was raining really, really hard, and the moms and the dads, the aunts and uncles, the grandmas and grandpas were still out there working in that rain, because we had an agreement that there's going to be so many hours that the architect was going to be in town to direct it, and by golly knows we were going to make that date, and we did. We made that time. So I want to thank all those that were there at the time, but I know that it's not an easy memory to forget, and I'm glad that Mr. Mayor has reached out to the consultant. And anybody else that's in the audience that has ideas, please send them to Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Mr. Liskovic, anything else from your report, sir?
No, that's all for this evening.
Okay. Any questions for the Public Works Director? Okay, we're going to move on now to standing committees. And before we get to them, I failed to mention that this Friday is not only Halloween, but it's also the deadline to turn in your letters of interest and your resumes if you're interested in being on one of the boards and commissions. And the boards and commissions, they feed up and they do the research, and they recommend to city councils, to all of our different committees, directions that we should be going in. And it's really a great way to become involved in the city. And if there's any questions about them, you can ask anybody up here about their experiences with the boards and the commissions. We're going to go on now to the standing committees, and the very first one is Ms. Gentry.
Yep, Building and Utilities will be meeting this month on the 19th, Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Any questions for Ms. Gentry? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on now to Mr. Shamir. Oh, yes, go ahead, Mr. Shamir.
Is there any way that we can get First Energy to come back anytime soon? Because, I mean, we have had, I know that within Ward 1, a number of power issues that are not related to weather. And I've got residents that are effectively suffering at this point in time. Thank you.
Yep, we will, I'll work on getting them back.
Yes.
Yes, there is a government affairs a contact that we had, Mayor, I believe.
Yep.
Nick, and we, proper person to actually approach with that issue.
Thank you. And who's going to be the lead there? Is that going to be Ms. Gentry? Working with Mr. Liskovic. Okay, very good. Thank you. Next is Economic Development, Mr. Arnold.
Thank you. We had an Economic Development Committee meeting last week. There were 4 items on the agenda. I'm sorry, there were 5 items on the agenda, 4 of which are on first reading tonight. The first one is a TIF ordinance for Sand Ridge Run and Harbor Crest area. The second topic was the power plant purchase and sale agreement with ALERG. The third one was the ordinance appointing Austin Page as the code administrator replacing Ted Osborne. The fourth was a new agreement or extension to Todd Davis's contract, and then we also talked a little bit about the economic recovery and resiliency plan. So tonight, there aren't any suspension of the rules except for one, and that is for Austin Page as the code administrator. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Arnold? Okay, we're going to go to the Communications, Environmental, and Recreational Program with Mr. Shamir.
Yes, this evening we have one item that's on the suspension of the rule requiring 3 readings, and that is the ordinance number 25-173, an ordinance to adopt a cybersecurity program and declaring it as an emergency. And this is driven by Ohio Revised Code 9.64 under House Bill 96.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Shamir? Okay, now we're going to move on to Mr. Zuber with Finance.
Thank you, Council President. I have no formal report. Our next meeting of the Finance Committee will be on the 3rd of November. Per Mr. Caus's request at last week's meeting, we did receive in an email the surrounding cities and how much they pay on the license fee. And I just wanted to go over that a little bit. I was going to read every municipality that has at least a $25 fee or $25 fee. But instead, what I'm going to do is that there's 75 municipalities between Lorain and Cuyahoga County. Out of those 75, there are only 5 that charge either $10 or less for their license fee. So there's 70 municipalities that are charging more than the city of Avon Lake does. And I think it's something that, like I said, we're going to be talking about again next week at not only the Finance Committee, but also at the collective committee meeting. But I just thought I'd point that out. Now, most of those communities are in Cuyahoga County. However, there are several in Lorain County also that do have the $25 fee. And like I said, there's only 5 out of 75 that have $10 or less that they charge for their license plate fees.
Thank you, sir. Any questions?
I also have 3 items on the agenda. All of them are suspension of the rule. The first one is on the second reading. That's for the city insurance. That has to be passed by the end of the month. And also the others have to do with budgeting of fixing tax rates for the county that we have to get to the county by the end of this month also. So that's why they're under suspension.
Thank you for your explanation. Any questions for Mr. Zuber? Any comments? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on then to Mr. Smith with Human Resources.
Thank you, Madam President. Human Resources, there's no report tonight. Our next meeting, though, is November 10th at 6 o'clock in these chambers before our next meeting. In addition, under Human Resources, Civil Service has a meeting scheduled for November 4th at 4 o'clock. That's all I have for Human Resources. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Mr. Smith? Thank you. We're going to go on now to Mr. Cause with Public Safety.
Thank you. I have no formal report. However, I do want to mention that Michaela Highland, who is our representative on the Public Safety and Health Committee to the Lorain County Board of Health, submitted her monthly report that she was going to be checking in with us as our representative with Lorain County Health Department. She wanted to make us aware that she will be attending the American Public Health Association Conference in Washington, D.C. from November 1st to the 6th, and she looks forward to bringing any insight back from that to not only our committee, but also the Lorraine County Board of Health. She also is always looking for grant opportunities that she hears from the Lorraine County Board of Health, and she did come across the Land and Water Conservation Fund 2026 grant overview. This came to me last week, and unfortunately, it's got a November 14th application deadline. This grant mainly deals with ODNR and the U.S. Department of Natural Resources and such, and kind of falls outside of the purview of the Safety and Health Committee. So I'd like to ask which committee would, person I would forward this to. Would this be Mrs. Fenderbosch with Public Service or Mr. Shamir through the Environmental?
Mr. Shamir, when do you meet again?
EAB meets on the first Thursday of the month, so it will
And
be
you just
next
had,
week.
you just had your meeting tonight.
CRP, yeah.
So the next time when I meet is going to be the first week of November, November 5th. If you're going to, and the deadline is November.
The 14th. If I could pass this to you, Mrs. Fenderbosch, and
Very
then you
good.
can make a
Thank you.
determination of the best place to go.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Probably Ms. Fenderbosch, because I am not going to have CRP until end of November.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Cos.
And then the other thing that I had, just a reminder that the next committee meeting is going to be Tuesday, November the 18th. The day before that, which is the 17th, we are going to have the final report done through a public work session on the Southeast Lear Road Quadrant Traffic Study. That will be on the Monday the 17th. On the 18th, the committee is going to meet, and we're going to discuss that final report. It is anticipated that we'll have some sort of a recommendation come out of that committee, and that would put us on a path for some sort of either approval, denial, whatever it might be, whatever the recommendation is going to be for the Southeast Quadrant Traffic Study and the issues that have been brought forward. So that's going to be a meeting on the 18th, which I think that the public is going to want to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any comments to my left? Okay. Any comments to my right? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very thorough. Okay, the next is public service, which I chair, and the next public service meeting is going to be November the 5th at 5:30 in these chambers. And we'll have a number of items that we're going to be going over. Tonight, there is a motion that's going to be before us, and it has to do with the Avon Lake Council policies and procedures. We took into consideration the typos and the rewording of some of the language. We found another typo that we corrected. That's before us, and just before the meeting concludes, there's going to be an American legal ordinance that's going to be before us. It's going to have 3 readings. Any comments? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move on now to Planning Commission with Mr. Smith.
Thank you again, Madam President. Planning Commission has one item on the agenda tonight, which we discussed at the public hearing. That's on for second reading. Additionally, I have no other report other than on November 4th at 7 o'clock, Planning Commission will meet in these chambers. As of my discussions with Kelly today, there is one item on the agenda, which is going to be Harbor Crest, which is at the southeast corner of Walker and 83. And other than that, I have nothing else to report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Smith or comments? Okay, then seeing none, we're going to move on to the mayor with the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Thank you, Madam President. The Zoning Board of Appeals met October 22nd. They had 6 cases. One case was dismissed when the residents show up. All the other cases were granted. Usually they were area variances. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any comments about Zoning Board of Appeals? Okay. Next is Parks and Recreation Commission. Mr. Shamir,
There's nothing to report. Thank you.
any comments about Parks and Recreation Commission? Okay. The next would be special committees. The only special committee that I have is the Tree Commission. They're going to be meeting on November the 12th at 6 p.m. at the old firehouse. Thank you. Okay. We have one more, Mr. Shamir.
Yes, we had the meeting of the Walker Road Ad Hoc Committee, Walker Road Park Ad Hoc Committee meeting on the 22nd of October. And effectively, the two major points that came out, both public work directors agreed on the responsibility matrix for Walker Road Park, so that's been clearly defined. And Mr. Liskovic, is that a correct statement? I just want to.
You are correct, yes.
Okay. And the other item that came about is that there will be a lessons learned session associated with the wetlands violation issue that will be taking place between now and the next meeting fairly quickly. Is that correct as well?
Yes, that's what was stated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments for Mr. Shamir? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to motions. I move for suspension, I move for adopting the Avon Lake Council policies and procedures based on codified ordinance chapter 220. And what you have in your packet, members of council, is that we, on page 2, number 4, we took your advice and removed the time for starting. It now says start. Standing committees meetings should start at a time to be determined by the committee members. Next, on page 7, there are 2 changes. At the top, underneath public input guidelines, it'll say in yellow, consultants or invited guests may present factual information and/or may respond to questions from members of council, the administration, or staff at any point during the meeting at the discretion of the presiding officer. And next bullet point was members of council, the administration, or staff may respond to questions or comments from the public at the discretion of the presiding officer. And if you flip it to the back page, and you're looking at voting, the next to last bullet point, the word passed has been changed to P-A-S-S-E-T. It was a typo. And with those changes before you, we have a motion on the floor to adopt. Further questions, comments? Seeing none, Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you, that has passed. Next, Mr. Arnold.
I move for the confirming the appointment by the mayor of Larry Sanson to fill a vacancy on the Community Reinvestment Area CRA Housing Council for the remainder of a 3-year term effective November 1st, 2025 and expiring December 31st, 2027.
Any further comments?
Yeah, I will. I've met Larry a few times. He is a good community. He's good with the community here in the area. He's always volunteered his time. He actually tried to get on council through an appointment process, and we all met him along that, and he's terrific. So the mayor has other comments as well.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Larry, if you recall, was the chair of the Boards and Commissions Ad Hoc Committee that did a lot of heavy lifting. He did a great job chairing that committee, organizing it. He has a very diverse background in business leadership, community service, and local governance. He has experience in strategic planning, financial management. He also served on the Lorain County Chamber of Commerce Board. So he has a wide variety of experiences that will lend itself well to the CRA. And we've seen the product of his work, and it was excellent. So glad to be able to appoint him.
Thank you. Any further comments? Seeing none, Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
It is passed. Now we're at the legislation point. Second readings. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only, ordinance number 25-156.
An ordinance awarding a contract for comprehensive insurance coverage for the city of Avon Lake to Jackson, Deacon, and Associates and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Zuber?
I move for the suspension of the council rule requiring 3 readings.
Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry? Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. It is passed. Mr. Zuber?
I move for passage of ordinance number 25-156.
In discussion?
This is the comprehensive insurance coverage for the city of Avon Lake. We need to pass this before the end of the month. I want to thank the administration and the finance director for moving this forward basically a month or prior, so we had time to discuss it and look at it. I know Mr. Arnold has looked at the policy. That's what he does for a living, and he seems pretty happy with it. And we're just glad that we can get this done and have the discussion prior to the first reading.
Thank you, and I also want to thank our finance director along with the mayor for helping to move this forward so that we're not behind schedule. Mr. Arnold?
No, I just wanted to comment too that Jackson Deacon Associates is a great firm. They've been around for a long time. They've been in the community, so I'm just glad that we're able to allow them to serve our needs as far as the insurance broker goes. And I want to thank Beth. Beth really got on top of this. Usually we wait, like Mr. Zuber said, it comes by like the 12th hour. We're rushing. I think we've even had special meetings on it. So we asked the administration to give us more time, this past year and moving forward. So I want to thank the administration for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. This is passed. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only, ordinance number 25-161.
An ordinance authorizing the creation of a new chapter titled Short-Term Rental Properties within Title VI, Miscellaneous Building Regulations in Part 14 of the Codified Ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Arnold?
Thank you. This is the second reading of ordinance number 25-161. We formed an ad hoc committee with myself, Ms. Gentry, and Mr. Koss. It's been about a year, I think, and we kind of reached out to the public, both pro and con, and some of the issues that we've had with some of our Airbnbs, and they're very few. We actually only have about 20 Airbnbs here in town. So there's not many that are out there, but there were some concerns. The three takeaways are the three major points of the ordinance, in my view, is the concentration of Airbnbs. That was a concern of some residents. Didn't want to have a pocket of an area of town that had Airbnbs in it. So what we did is you can't have any Airbnb out. It has to be 1,000 feet or 6 parcels from the other Airbnb. The second one is we heard about some Airbnbs here in town that maybe had too many people that were staying in the house. So we said that they could have two people per bedroom with an additional 2 people. So if you have 4 bedrooms, you could have 10 people in the house. And then the third concern was in doing a safety inspection of the rentals. I've always said that all the Airbnbs here that I've seen and been in my travels have always been very well maintained, especially in the exterior, but we want to make sure that there's some safety protocols in place, things like fire extinguishers, smoke alarms, that their trash bins are available, things of that sort. So we'll talk about this again for the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments from anyone? Okay, as a parallel to this, I have asked for Mrs. Rossmarin and the law director, they're working on an ordinance to put together a hotel lodging tax. The state legislators are recommending that we do this, that the platform that would be used for reservations would collect the tax, and according to Ohio law, 50% of that tax would then go toward the marketing of tourism within Avon Lake. The other 50% that would be collected would go toward the general fund. And I've asked Mr. Zuber to bring that on his agenda items for the finance meeting. So this will be a parallel. Thank you. Good job, Mr. Arnold, and your ad hoc committee with Ms. Gentry and Mr. Koss. Thank you. And we've had a lot of work from our law director who has done this in other cities.
If I could, I don't know if we need to close out the ad hoc committee or keep it open. I don't know if Mr. Koss, if you've been here the longest, Can we close it? Do we keep it open and have somebody, one of the new people that take my position be a part of it in case anything comes up, or
Well,
what are your
I
thoughts?
think Mrs. Fenderbosh is gonna say the same thing that I'm gonna say. There was no sunset when we established it, but I think if we created it with you on there, so I think it would just go defunct once the end of the year comes, unless we renewed it with a new individual. That's, Mrs. Fenderbosh, I mean, is that what you were
Right, so
gonna say?
as council president, what I'm gonna share with you is that the goal for the ordinance that you have in front of you is to close it out this year while you're here. And so then, that ad hoc committee would sunset with it. If it needs to come back up again, we can always rebirth it. But we thank you for your time and for your work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on now. Mrs. Rossmarin, please read by title only, Resolution Number 25-162.
A resolution adopting the Avon Lake Community Television Rules and Regulation.
Mr. Shamir.
Yes, this resolution is effectively a formalization of existing rules and regulation and updating those rules and regulation that required them to be brought up to date. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Rob Rua and Stephanie Bigger for taking the time to pull this documentation together, and the Communication and Technology Commission to review and update. So this is effectively going to go through 3 readings and for passage. Thank you.
Thank you, and you're on your second reading now. Very good, thank you. Any comments from anyone else on this one? This is long overdue. Thank you so much, sir. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only, ordinance number 25-166.
An ordinance to rezone permanent parcel number 0400006135-071 from B2 General Business District to R1A Single Family Residence District and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Smith.
Thank you. This is the second reading. We had our public hearing this evening to discuss this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments from anyone? Okay, this is the second reading. We will now go on to first readings. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only, ordinance number 25-167.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a real estate purchase agreement between the City of Avon Lake and Avon Lake Environmental Redevelopment Group, LLC, for the acquisition of approximately 23 acres of land located in the City of Avon Lake and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Arnold.
Thank you. This is the first reading of this agreement. This goes back probably a couple of years now. It's been a year since a year of negotiations after the IDA. But in essence, it's the purchase of 23 acres of lakefront property in the former power plant. This will be purchased for $15 million through a TIF that has to be approved by the schools. And, the course of the last year, we've had our professionals come in here and give us, again, in-depth information to us, whether it's on the TIF, or whether it's on the environment, or whether it's on the purchase agreement. We've had all of our, Todd Davis, Steve Gross, and Majid Magloof have been here numerous times. They're going to be coming back again in the next week or two. I don't know, Mayor, if you have anything to add to this?
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I'm just going to go back in history a little bit to talk about how we actually got here. So the city was advised in July of 2020 the Avon Lake Power Plant would be closing. And again, the city had no role in that closing, nor do we own the power plant property. Chara purchased the property in March of 2022 and began demolition remediation, starting with asbestos abatement. It's anticipated that Chara will substantially complete the demolition remediation in the coming week or so. There is some site grading and dress up that will be completed over the next 6 weeks as needed. During conversations and meeting, including visioning sessions held by Gensler, which was Chara's planning and architectural firm during 2021 and 2022, it became very clear the desire was for the redevelopment of the property to include public access to the lake. Additionally, a review of the public comments from the 2019 Comprehensive Land Use Plan clearly showed a desire for more public access to our greatest asset, Lake Erie. Options were reviewed with our experts and consultants to obtain site control of the lakefront property while still allowing for some development on the 43-plus acres of the current power plant property. We also wanted a plan that would not put the city at risk for any potential environmental issues and did not require the use of the city's general fund. We have worked collaboratively with the Lorraine County Metro Parks and Lorraine County itself to position ourselves where environmentally remediated land, meeting Ohio EPA standards, could be purchased in a low-risk, financially prudent manner. To get to this point, we have engaged a team of experts, including Todd Davis, an expert in brownfield development, Steve Gross from Verdantis, a leading environmental services company, and the firm of Burns Ochner Greenberger for the planning and zoning services. Our experts are working directly with the city, CHARA, and the Ohio EPA to reach the goal of providing our city and the region with 23 new acres of new lakefront park. Representatives will be available throughout the legislative process to introduce and speak about the purchase agreement and their role in the process. The first of those would be on November 3rd. We have a collective committee meeting, and we've asked that a work session be added to that, where Steve Gross from Verdantis will talk about the environmental in the PSA. And then we're also looking at for another work session at another CCM, and that would be on November 17th, where Majid Makhlouf would come in and discuss the TIF and the PSA. And of course, in between that, we have other council sessions where there'll be readings with further discussion, and we certainly encourage the public feedback in this process. And if there are questions that you would like to have answered, you can submit those to myself or Ted Esborn. We will try to get answers prior to those meetings so that we can keep the process moving and make sure that we answer all public inquiries. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cos?
Yeah, thank you. So, Mr. Arnold, based on that schedule, what's the third reading date? I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. Do you know what the estimated third reading date would be?
Yeah, it's November 24th.
The 24th? Okay. All right, thank you.
Very good. And one thing that I wanted to share with the public is that for all of us that have purchased homes, and when you buy a home, it closes within 60 days, 90 days, 30 days. It's relatively quick, right? You have your inspections, you get all your papers together, you get your banking together, and it closes. That's not what this is. This is a very long, drawn-out process. If by passing this, what we're saying is that we're going to go through a specific type of process. Wouldn't you describe it like that, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, there's a long process of environmental remediation and assessment that goes along with this. It'll probably take at least until next summer. And then, of course, as Councilman Arnold indicated, that this agreement is predicated upon a vertical developer being identified, and then the development creating enough tax dollars where a TIF would make it viable for this to be able to close.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussions? Mr. Shamir?
I actually have a series of comments, if I may use the overhead, please.
This one. It'll be just a minute for it to warm up, sir. Sure. There we go.
Thank you. So I think the access to lakefront is a wonderful thing. I think having the parkland is of great use. Where I differ is fundamentally how you pick that land up. So the discussion is the area, which is green, will be purchased by the city under a TIF structure for $15 million. So what exactly does that mean? So 23.22 acres of lakefront green space for $15 million funded through a 30-year TIF for $60 million in tax increment financing. Now, the remaining 19.6 acres are reserved for private mixed-use development. And that is based on a rezoning from industrial use. Now, if you look at this map, this kind of divvies it up pretty closely because this is based off the documentation that was provided by the legal team. The pink area is the area that is going to be picked up by the city, the 23 plus acres. Now, if you look at the fiscal framework, we're talking about $15 million for parkland acquisition. Now, that is a non-revenue asset. So there is no revenue generation from that 23 acres. What it does, it benefits the 19 acres that is going to be developed. That is very critical in understanding how this thing evolves. The other thing is, you have another $15 million, another 25% of the TIF, which will be utilized for site grading and remediation. Effectively, we are subsidizing the developer's remediation process. Now, that remains for us $30 million, that's 50%, which is used for infrastructure development. Roads, utilities, stormwater, whatever, and then tax base incentives to the whoever that is going to come and develop this as a vertical builder. Now, what does that mean for us? That means a tax-based return delayed by 20 to 30 years on a property which will never generate revenues. You know, we should be able to obtain that piece of land as a part of our rezoning structure. It happens everywhere else. So effective cost of green space for that $30 million of 15 plus 15 gives us $1.29 million per acre. Now, every time that the discussion of a strategy on how we came about with this concept comes up, everybody refers to, well, the residents want access to the beach. I agree, we need access to the beach, but we don't have to pay $1.29 million per acre for that access. We have a tool called zoning. That tool needs to be utilized in this process. So let's take a look at this thing. So when you look at the fiscal framework, the $60 million, $15 million goes for acquisition, $15 million goes for regrading and remediation. That remains $30 million for infrastructure. Now, what happens when we have developers that come in and say, you know, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that? How can we give them economic incentives when we've already spent $30 million up front? You know, we talk about strategy. And I've had this discussion about strategy, and excuse my voice, I'm a bit hoarse. What is the strategy for the acquisition of this property? Okay? The comment that I receive is people asked for it. Yes, people have asked for it, and we should give them, but not at a cost of $15 or $30 million. Now, what are we talking about on the fiscal impact? 30 years of diversion of property tax for a non-revenue generating asset. We have opportunity cost of $60 million in foregone TIF capacity. So what do I mean? Every dollar of TIF used for non-revenue asset is a dollar that can't be used later for infrastructure or a revenue producing project. So that $30 million, half of that TIF that is being proposed is actually being handed over, at least $15 million directly to ALERG, and the other $15 million will either be utilized for regrading, remediation by the city or by ALERG or another contractor. So when you look at this thing, this is an unsustainable precedent for future development. We're telling other developers, come in here, we will give you everything, and You don't have to make any commitments. We don't have economic data on how this TIF structure is going to evolve. What do I mean by that? When you ask for a TIF structure, you need to understand what the economic outlook is going to look like. It doesn't mean that today we're going to say, trust us. This will be the greatest thing since apple pie. Trust me, if we build it, they will come. Well, that is great. If we build it, they might come. But what if they don't? This is the responsibility of this organization, the council, to ask the questions. So when you go through this thing, and I guess this you can't see so well, when you look at recommended valuation framework, let's say if we were to purchase the land of 23 plus acres. If you look at industrial equivalent, because every time I make a comment of, okay, why can't we negotiate? The comment comes back, the city resident wanted beach access, and I want beach access. The other comment that I hear is, well, what if we don't purchase it? They'll turn the whole thing into industrial. You know, why don't we then look at purchasing an industrial asset? If you want to look at industrial, you got about $150,000 per acre. That's $3.5 million roughly for that asset. That's an industrial equivalent. If you take the fair value midpoint, that would put it roughly at $5.8 million. And I'll tell you where these numbers come from afterwards. Generous public premium at $350,000 per acre. Again, this is industrial. Gives us 8.1. Now, the PSA price is $660,000 per acre. That's 15 million. That effectively exceeds rational benchmarks. Now, this information comes on the valuation from the Urban Land Institute, which is an NGO that has been around since the 30s, since the 1930s. Okay? They've done projects all over the country, and these are some of the programs that they've been involved with. This is the Great Lakes Commission Archive Revitalization of Waterfront Communities in Ohio, Michigan, New York, and Wisconsin. Okay? This is the ULI, so this is the Urban Land Institute's Cleveland TAP 2022, Cuyahoga River, excuse me. Study. And again, what you will see is they have had issues, but issues are not dealt with in silos. They have a plan, they help develop a plan, and everyone understands why we are doing what we're doing. So how could ULI help us? They could, I mean, if we don't have a negotiation strategy, at a minimum, they could help us with negotiation strategies, which I still to this day don't understand how we can be going through such a major event without a negotiation strategy, because this is our future. Now, the Urban Land Institute documentation and the numbers that I have added, you can find on that spreadsheet at that link. So when you take a look at that link, that's where the numbers on this sheet comes from. So none of this is really important. The important thing is, what is our concern when it comes to strategy? We don't have a defined economic or parkland acquisition strategy. We don't. I haven't seen it. Maybe the rest of council have seen it. I sure haven't. So when I ask the question, I have never been answered. If you've got it, put it forth, allow us to take a look and understand. When you make a comment that the residents have said that they want access to the beach, that is great, but it doesn't mean that they also want $30 million potentially put into that access. Put it to a referendum. I mean, if we don't understand it, ask the question. there is no clear integration with the citywide economic framework or a lakefront vision. Show me where you have a vision and an economic framework for this, for the economic development of the community and how this will be integrated into it. Decisions are, again, this is the decision based on public sentiment. When you ask, whenever I question, everybody on this side makes the comment, residents want access. I agree, residents want access and we should give them. But it doesn't mean that they want access for $30 million. Now, city taking a passive stance, and that is what I see, unless there is something else that is occurring parallel to my discussions at this council, we have a very passive stance when it comes to negotiation. We need to leverage our zoning tool, and that zoning tool is what gives us public value. That tool can be utilized to obtain that land. Show me where it can't, show me the reason we can't. Don't tell me that, oh, we can't do it. We've done everything and it can't be done. What did you do? Write it down, put it in black and white. Now, the position on conditional support, and this is from my point of view. I don't know about the rest of council, but I can tell you what I see. So when you want this development to move forward, you dedicate that green space to the city as a condition for rezoning. It's not that we are sitting here and saying, we'll pay you and then we'll give you zoning. I mean, this is against every fundamental to negotiation. So the approach captures value for the public, aligns with Ohio planning standards, and ensures taxpayers are not subsidizing private appreciation. We do not need to subsidize their appreciation of their assets. So Ohio law allows cities to require developers to set aside land for parks or pay park fees when approving new housing or business projects, as long as requirements are fair and proportional. Cities like Dublin and Columbus already use these rules effectively. And
We do too.
this is where that documentation is. Fundamentally, I have no issues with the development of the power plant or obtaining that land. I have an issue with our strategy of what it is that we're doing to get that land. I have an issue with paying $30 million, 15 for the purchase and 15 million for the regrading. Fundamentally, I will be presenting this at every session from this day until we go through the process of either approving or sending it back for reevaluation. And my comment is, we've got a new council coming in. There is no rush. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks will not cause anything to change. So why don't we wait and allow the new council to also look at the issue? Thank you very much.
Do you have any comments from the administration on the presentation?
Just briefly, I would say I appreciate Councilman Shamir's opinion, his viewpoint, and his work on this. I will add that we will have our professionals here who I believe have attempted to address some of his concerns previously, and I'm sure they will do that again. But we have relied on these professionals, and they are truly professionals in this area to guide us through this process. And I will let them speak to that as we move forward through the process. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any further comments? One thing I should mention, Mr. Shamir, is that during the Planning Commission's final plan, when the developer has performed what the site plan says, what the improvement plan says, and we have collected all the fees, whether they're tap-in fees, grading fees, tree fees, there's also a recreation fee. And it's actually out of that fee that we have collected over the years that we will be utilizing toward the purchase of Erie View. Okay. Yes, sir, go ahead.
The question is not the fees. The question is, we are rezoning 19-plus acres of land, which will be significantly more valued at a higher rate than they would as a collective of the 23 plus 19 if they are left as industrial. So as a part of negotiation, what I am saying is fundamentally, we should take our rezoning power and negotiate, not allow to pay for it here and then pay for it again. Thank you.
Yes, and this has been discussed. None of us, as far as council, were in the negotiations. But I do remember Todd Davis stating that that was where they started from. And I think we'll leave it up to him to respond. So this was, Mr. Arnold, ordinance number 25-167. Is there anything else that you would like to state since you are the sponsor to close this issue for the first reading? Because this will have 2 more readings.
Not at this time, no.
Thank you. Okay, then we're going to go on now. Mrs. Ross Marin, please read by title only, ordinance number 25-168.
An ordinance authorizing funds for continued legal services to Todd Davis Esquire and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Arnold?
Thank you. I move for suspension of the rules requiring 3 readings.
Mrs. Ross Marin, the roll?
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koff?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. It is passed. Mr. Arnold?
I move for passage of ordinance number 25-168.
And in discussion?
Yes, we've utilized Mr. Davis over the last few years as our expert and as our brownfield expert in what we just discussed a few minutes ago. This extended contract would be an additional $50,000, not to exceed $50,000. Sorry, what was that? Was I breaking up a little bit?
If you could just hold up a second, we're having some technical difficulty.
Monitors.
Okay, it's just a monitor. Go ahead, Mr. Arnold, I'm sorry. Could you repeat, please?
Sure. This is an extension of his services not to exceed $50,000.
Any further discussion from anyone? Mr. Cos?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I just want to say that I really do appreciate the work that Todd Davis has done on behalf of the city. Whether we agree with everything he says or not, he is an expert in the field. We're lucky to have him as being one of our experts, one of our professionals that we've been talking about, helping to guide us through this. And unfortunately, in the community, we've had several instances where things have been said disparagingly about him, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, I think all of us up here, whether we agree or disagree, we respect him in the work that he does. And I'm glad that we're going to be able to retain him for longer on this duration of the discussions of this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cos. Mr. Shamir?
I would like to say that I believe that Mr. Davis is quite capable. He is very good at what he does. He represents the city with the perspective that has been given to him. I have always said that if I was in a position that I needed someone to negotiate on my behalf, I would pull him in. But my agreement and my approval of this depends solely on the requirement for continuity and not an agreement with where his stance and position is. I have asked over and over for the strategy, and to this day, he has refused to put down a strategy because his comment is, this is how it's done. We don't develop a strategy before we negotiate. I've been doing this forever. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes. Thank you, Madam President. I would like to clarify that this ordinance does address those services that are not reimbursable by the reimbursement agreement with ALC.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else? Okay, Mrs. Ross Marin.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss.
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. This has passed. We go on now to ordinance number 25-169. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance creating the Sandridge and Harbor Crest Tax Increment Financing Incentive Districts, declaring improvements to the parcels within each incentive district to be a public purpose and exempt from real property taxation, requiring the owners of those parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of those service payments, authorizing school compensation payments, specifying the public infrastructure improvements that benefit or serve parcels in the incentive district, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Arnold.
If I could, I'm going to go up and show the public what we're actually talking about.
Please do.
Okay, so we're talking about Harbor Crest, which is right here, and then Sandridge is right in the yellow portion here. So the blue area and the yellow portion. So here is 83. Sorry to see my big old hand in the picture. I don't have a pencil. But, and then here's Walker Road.
Thank you.
I'll leave that up there.
Sir, when you get back to your seat, if you could just talk a little bit further about this process, because the language in here stated that authorizing school compensation payments.
Correct. So this is not going to affect the school district. The school district and the Lorraine County JVS will receive their funds. They normally would receive from property taxes, but the idea is for the city to pass a TIF on this district. So right now there's, I think Sandridge has a few houses going up. The rest of the property's vacant, and then the other property across the street, it hasn't even started developing yet. So we'd like to get this passed this year to take advantage of a TIF, an incentive program for the incentive district for the city. So if the schools don't get their money back, I guess people will ask, well, then where's the money coming from? Most of that money will come directly from taxes that would be paid into the county. So for us, it's a win-win, I think, as a city. I think if you could comment, Mr. Smith, when did you say that on the Harbor Crest that they're coming to planning?
They're coming to planning on November 4th at 7 o'clock. That's the property in the blue over there with their plans for phase 1 and phase 2, which I think are the phases, I'm pretty sure they're the phases that come out to 83.
Okay. So yeah, so any increase in property taxes, right now it's just land, so any increase in property taxes the city would receive, could receive, I think, Mayor, maybe you can comment on this in regards to the county. They have to approve it as well, correct?
Go ahead.
The county can object. We have not heard any objection from them. There's been questions too about the valuation. How much will this TIF increase? We're estimating the value of the improvements in that area at about $42 million. We're going to be working with the county to figure out what the TIF implication would be, how much we would raise. I just want to note that the proceeds from the TIF, again, making the schools whole, will go to the improvement of the 83 Walker intersection generally. So the idea is to take money from the development to improve that area.
Thank you. So I'm going to say it again. It's not going to be improving the developer's area. It's going to be improving the public street of Walker and 83, which is really preparing it for any kind of development that could occur down at the power plant and increased traffic going north. Any further discussion? Ms. Gentry?
Yes, I just wanted to know how we decided on just those two properties. If the intent is to address the traffic flow in the entire intersection, why would we not also include the property to the north?
You want to go into it?
I can answer that. So when you mean the property to the north, are you talking north of Walker Road? So everything that you see, I'm just gonna stick south of Walker Road here for a second. So outside the blue and yellow, you'll see areas that are currently commercial. There's no anticipated increment increase in tax valuation for those properties unless they were to be torn down, reevaluated, and then improved. So north of Walker Road, that area, the only area that currently exists that would have an increase in property tax valuation would be the area around the town center, around Parker's and that. That is gonna come back as a separate TIF because there's two different TIF processes.
Okay.
This one is not the same as that one.
Understood. Okay, just as long as that is in the plan.
It's
Okay.
definitely in the plan. It's a different type of TIF, so it has to be separated out.
Understood. Thank you.
And to say it a different way, raw land than being developed has a higher evaluation and growth than developed land and what could occur down the road. That's why we're going with the raw land. Mr. Cos, your hand is up.
Thank you. So the public infrastructure improvements identified in section 2, page 2, are those limited to just the areas that would be bordering in the blue and the yellow, or does it extend to the intersection of 83 and Walker?
It definitely extends to the intersection. In fact, you can go about a mile out, but we're trying to concentrate on that area of 83 and Walker, given the traffic congestion that we already currently have and the need for improvements, which, as you know, would probably not be cheap. So the idea is to capture this money and then dedicate it to those improvements.
That's good. Then I will again repeat my request that we look to add electronic crosswalk signals to this. That is not in section 2. If those signals that are currently there at the intersection of Walker and 83, when those are due to be replaced, they are not cheap, and they are necessary at that intersection. And if we can identify language in that this TIF money could be used for that, whether it's 5 years, 7 years, whatever it is, when those may need to be replaced, I think it would save the money, quite a bit of money for the city. So I hope that language can be included.
Thank you. If I could ask the law director, would it be possible for Mrs. Rossmarin to add that language?
We can add it for the next council meeting.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir, because you did mention it before.
And as Mr. Arnold is the sponsor of it, so I mean, it would be up to him. But I
Right,
would appreciate
Mr. Arnold.
any
that's-
appreciation you can give on that. Consideration, I'm sorry, any consideration.
What's that?
We can add that language, Mr. Ebert
Yes.
has said. Very
Great.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well done. Okay. Let's move on then to ordinance number 25-170. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance appointing Austin Page, Planning and Zoning Manager, as Code Administrator pursuant to Planning and Zoning Code Section 1212.05, repealing ordinance number 23-13, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Arnold.
I move to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings.
Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Mr. Zuber.
Yes.
Mr. Arnold.
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh. Ms. Gentry.
Yes.
Mr. Cos.
Yes.
Mr. Shamir.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. That has passed. Mr. Arnold.
I move for passage of ordinance number 25-170.
And in discussion?
Yes, in discussion, currently Austin Page is the planning and zoning manager. He would be much more useful as a zone administrator because he's very good at that, quite honestly. That's pretty much it.
So this would be an additional task for him. Mr. Mayor, do you want to speak to this?
So the current code administrator is our community development director, Ted Esborn. I've asked that Ted Esborn concentrate more on the economic side, thus the need for removing some of these other ancillary duties. Austin Page being probably the most versed person in zoning, it makes sense for him then to be the code administrator. Most of these deal with the planning and zoning code. He does have a strong knowledge as a code administrator. We also take the team leadership approach so that even though he would be the code administrator making those decisions, everything is done as part of that team.
Thank you. Any further discussion from anyone? All right, Mrs. Rossmarin, we have a need for a roll call.
Mr. Zuber?
This is for passage. We're asking you for your vote, sir.
Yes. No.
Oh, you call for the vote?
He's already called for the
Yes.
vote.
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. This is passed. Ordinance number 25-171. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 25-19R2, appropriations for fiscal year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Zuber.
I move for the suspension of the council rule requiring 3 readings.
Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. This is passed. Mr. Zuber.
I move for passage of ordinance number 25-171.
In discussion.
This is budget adjustments that we had talked about at the Finance Committee that were going to be coming. And as you can see, attached are the pages of the different funds, and we have to pass this to send it over to the county for them to approve.
Thank you. I'd like to have the finance director just speak to this, if you could.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. So these budget adjustments, we are keeping up with these, and that is making the departments more comfortable with monitoring their budgets on an ongoing basis. And that's all I have.
Thank you. So this is going to be finishing out the year, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
These adjustments are to finish out the year?
No, we'll have
With
another
one
one.
more?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion from anyone? Seeing none, Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll?
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only, resolution number 25-172.
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certify them to the county auditor.
Mr. Zuber.
I move for the suspension of the council rule requiring 3 readings.
Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll?
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. This is passed. Mr. Zuber.
I move for passage of resolution 25-172.
In discussion.
These are adjustments that need to be done on the estimated taxes on the 2 levies that we vote on as per the finance director that have to go again to the county.
Right, this is something we do every year, and it's a requirement. Any further discussion? Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll?
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only, ordinance number 25-173.
An ordinance to adopt a cybersecurity program and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Shamir?
I move for the suspension of the rules requiring 3 readings.
Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll?
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. This is passed. Mr. Shamir?
I move for the passage of resolution 25-173. It's a compliance mandate under Ohio Revised Code 9.64- House Bill 96.
Thank you. Any further discussion from anyone? Okay, Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll?
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh? Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. And that was actually ordinance number 25-173, not a resolution, ordinance number. Okay, ordinance number 25-174. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance enacting a code of ordinances for the city of Avon Lake, Ohio, revising, amending, restating, codifying, and compiling certain existing general ordinances of the city of Avon Lake, Ohio, dealing with subjects embraced in such code of ordinances and declaring an emergency.
This is the first read. There will be 3 readings for this particular piece of ordinance. And we have American Legal. They're the ones that put together our very large, literally this thick, book of ordinances. And the permanent ordinances of the city of Avon Lake, they're inadequately arranged and classified, just out there. They have to be in a book. They have to be put up on the internet for the public to be able to see. And the legislature of the state of Ohio empowers the city to revise them, amend them, restate them, codify them, and compile them into these existing ordinances, as Mrs. Ross-Marin has read to you. The legislative authority of this city is then authorized as a general law to make these also available to the public. And what we have before us is how they have organized them. There's an administrative code, and there's ordinances under them. There's a traffic code with ordinances under them. General offenses code. There's a business regulation and taxation code. There's streets, utilities, and public services code. There is a planning and zoning code, which is about yay thick. There's a building and housing code. And then Part 16 has a fire prevention code. There's a table of special ordinances, parallel references, and an index. It's quite thorough. And this will be coming back up 2 more times in front of us to be able to authorize that we have adopted it. The clerk of council is then authorized in order to keep a copy of this code of ordinances in the council office, and we've made available to the public right outside of her office on a table that you can utilize in our conference room, the book if you want to go through and you want to see it or you need copies. The ordinance will be declared to be an emergency measure, the emergency being the necessity to provide for the usual daily operation of the city and to provide for the immediate preservation of the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Avon Lake by adopting the code of ordinances for the city. Thus, it will be in full force and effective immediately upon its passage and approval. Are there any comments on this? This has been very lengthy. The process not only requires Mrs. Ross-Marin and our deputy clerk to go through all of the wording and all the language to create it, but it also requires that the law director and his team review every aspect of it. Then it is submitted to American Legal. Then they come back with questions, and they have to go through every page of that entire book, and they have to look at every page to make sure that every word that is typed up here at the city that we pass is in that book. Thank you so much for your work. We appreciate it. We appreciate also the deputy clerk's assistance along with yours, Mr. Ebert. It's a very long process. Okay, anybody else? And we each have a copy of it. All right, miscellaneous business and announcements by anyone. Yes, sir, Mr. Shamir.
Yes, there is a Ward 1 meeting tomorrow at 5:30 at the library, and that's again 5:30 to 6:30 tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else with any announcements? If not, I'm in need of a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Cos. Mrs. Ross-Marin, the roll.
Mr. Zuber.
Yes.
Mr. Arnold.
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Yes.
Ms. Gentry.
Yes.
Mr. Koss.
Yes.
Mr. Shamir.
Yes.
Mr. Smith. Mr.
Yes.
Smith.
Thank you. The meeting is now adjourned. We'll see you next week. Thank you.